Super Smash Bros. For Nintendo Switch is a thing that's coming out this year. It still feels good to say that, but with every new Smash game, there's a number of new characters between first-party oddballs and third-party favorites. In this video, I'll be listing off 21 characters I believe to have a very likely shot at appearing in Smash, as these characters are also some I would want to see. This isn't a top 21 per se, this is more of a list of characters I see having a very probable shot, the most probable shot, characters I wish to see, or most/all the above. But I'll try to keep them within the realm of possibility. Smash games tend to introduce a ratio of around 10 to 15 characters, but 21, because why not go a little further, can wield more candidates with reasonable shots, and we'll be specifically talking about newcomers only. We already know the Inklings are going to be in Smash due to the teaser, so there's no need to speculate or wish they're going to be in because, well, they already are. Don't question the number 21, just go with it. I made a speculation video on returning veterans from past Smash games, and I want to briefly update on what my stance is on that, and remember, it's just speculation and beliefs, no need to get so high-strung. I do believe I underestimated Little Mac's popularity and his mark on the NES, and I'm feeling more confident he'll stay. Around 95% I'm sure that Little Mac's in now, and the first character I'll speculate will be one of the other reasons. My opinions on Lucario and Greninja haven't changed too much, other than I believe Greninja's more popular than Lucario, and it's more so of a fight between them over who's gonna stay. It's not a matter of them being the same characters, I never said they were, and it's obvious they're not. It's more of a popularity battle at this point, and one of them will leave. My guess is on Lucario. Dr. Mario, I'm feeling, will actually return, because not only has he become a staple and forefront with representing clones in Smash Bros, not only does Sakurai not care about clones, Dr. Mario was built in Smash 4 for players who preferred Mario's previous moveset for Melee. We don't have another character representing past movesets other than Dr. Mario, so that's why I see him returning. At the very least, a 75 to 80% shot. Other than that, my opinions on the other vets have largely remained the same. And just to save some guesses and give some hopes and respects for those that have a lesser shot in my eyes, but a welcome shot in many others, I'd like to shout out some characters off the top of my head. Doesn't mean they won't ever make it in, they still could, and putting them here does give reason to believe they have some substance to their potential inclusions, but the characters to follow after this, I could really see being characters in Smash for Switch. Several honorable mentions include Simon Belmont, Takamaru, Shantae, Daisy, Hades, Paper Mario, Rayman, and Ridley. Simon is a popular character in the Castlevania series, well known throughout classic Nintendo history, and one of Konami's more beloved franchises able to fight with his whip and projectile-based items. Takamaru is an assist trophy in Smash 4 and uses his throwing stars and katana in battle, as well as being another niche classic Nintendo character. Shantae is a genie capable of wielding magic abilities along with her growing cult following among indie games. Daisy, being one of the more popular Mario spin-off characters and wielding the princess status like Peach, is capable of unleashing flower power and tends to be distinguished from a more tomboyish and more aggressive exterior, otherwise being a secondary Peach. Hades is the master of the underworld, able to unleash massive attacks and devilish abilities from Kid Icarus and would make for another great villain. Rayman is one of Ubisoft's most popular characters and is often pushed for Smash, being one of their most loved platformers, and Ridley for being Samus's lifelong rival, a popular Metroid character, and the most requested Smash character, and Paper Mario literally because my partial bias for Paper Mario, but people have come up with ideas to make him a character, like implementing his partners, his hammers, the crystal stars from the Thousand Year Door, etc. He can work as his own character. However, due to obscurity, lack of distinguishing attributes and established attacks, size, character geometry, or programming difficulties, these guys get honorary mentions. If the list grew to 22 or 23 characters, I'd throw Simon and Hades on there, maybe Shantae, and maybe Ridley. I mean, they shrunk him down in Metroid Samus Returns, and people still beg for him, despite characters getting altered sizes since Melee and Brawl, like Olimar, Pikachu, and Bowser and such. Granted, it's not the same for a consistently big character, but I think this would be his time if it wasn't possible before. But there are other characters I feel are worthy of being newcomers in Smash Bros. For Switch. I've kept you waiting long enough, so let's get started. Number 1, Springman / Ribbon Girl. ARMS is one of the more popular characters on the Switch, and is Nintendo's freshest IP at this point. The game centers around characters with long, stretchable arms in a boxing-like fighting game, and having Springman to represent it with Ribbon Girl being an alternate color is almost a guarantee. Contrast to Little Mac's short-ranged, grounded playstyle and terrible air game, Springman / Ribbon Girl could be long-ranged boxers with a bigger emphasis on aerial mobility, giving them versatility among their in-game grabs as potential aerials or command command grabs, oh my god, that's gonna be broken, or just as an extendable standard grab, and their final smash either being their ultimate rushes or headlock taking them over and unleashing a barrage of 6 arms at once, if he's not an item or an assist trophy. Springman / Ribbon Girl is almost a guarantee at this point, and it would be shocking to see him / her miss the cut. If we're lucky, some other ARMS characters could have skins too, preferably Min Min, but if ARMS was to be in Smash, Springman would be the obvious choice. Sorry, Ramen Bomber fans. Number 2, Waluigi. This man has been one of the most requested characters in Smash since around Brawl, and many were upset to see him as an assist trophy in Smash 4 again. I know Mario gets flack for having so many characters in Smash, but considering he's the face of Nintendo and video games in general, it makes sense. Waluigi would make for an exciting reveal, and he can easily represent the Mario spin-offs the most. Not to mention he's a villain in those games, especially Mario Tennis and Dance Dance Revolution Mario Mix. He's tall, he's lanky, flexible, capable of swimming mid-air, create wind tornadoes by spinning a lot. Just ripping his moves from the sports games would make him a fun character, and he could still have his own unique Smash-based moves, with his final Smash being either a buffed up version of his assist trophy, or he unleashes a barrage of sports-based attacks. Project M even made him his own character with the same ideas, so it's not like it's impossible. Make it happen, Daddy Sakurai, please! We want Waluigi in Smash! Wah! Number 3, King K Rool. Possibly even more requested, King K Rool has rarely been utilized in many Donkey Kong games as of late. He was the main antagonist in the original Donkey Kong Country trilogy, but the last appearance was in Mario Super Sluggers, a Mario baseball game. The man runs an army of beefy crocodiles, and he's no slouch with strength himself. Smash has been itching for more villains, and King K Rool is basically the Bowser of Donkey Kong. It feels like a missed opportunity that he's still not here, and Smash would fit him so well. People want more villains. They could give him cannons, other items, make his brute force his main way of attacking. He'd be a heavyweight. His final Smash could be either this massive onslaught of brute strength and punches, or him and his Kremlings could attack in a group. And maybe he could be a grapple character. Outside of 1 or 2 command grabs for characters like Lucario or Wario, there isn't really a grapple focused character, and KK could be the first one. Either way, it feels empty without the big croc and Smash duking it out with DK. Number 4, Dixie Kong. Next to King K Rool, Dixie Kong seems like another missed opportunity. Being Diddy's girlfriend and a more iconic mainstay for Donkey Kong, Dixie just speaks for herself. She has her ponytail, she can hover in mid-air, use bubblegum as a grab or attack maybe, use her guitar even. She's nimble and agile like Diddy, she can also grab things with her hair. Her hair alone can make for a unique playstyle, although Bayonetta's the first to use her hair for attacks. She can even Kong slap on the ground like DK's down special. Her up special could be Kiddy Kong from Donkey Kong Country 3, tossing her up. Toss Kiddy on the ground as another down special option. Use the other animal companions even, like On Guard or Rambo. And her final Smash could be Dixie Kong dropping bananas on the field, causing foes to trip, and using her and Kiddy Kong to shoot at opponents via barrels off screen, similar to the Air Dragoon item from Kirby Air Ride. She could still act separate just as fine, so if King K Rool somehow doesn't make it, I'm at least expecting Dixie Kong to have a better chance. People also want more females in Smash too. I would prefer KKR, but having the both of them in though would just be icing on the cake. Number 5, Winkle, and her differences from Link go far beyond gender. She has her crossbows for long-range tactical fights, she can use her iron boots for some sweet kicks as aerials or smash attacks, she's faster and quicker than Link, and she can be more focused around physical combat rather than projectile-based weaponry. Not only that, she'd be good to represent Hyrule Warriors, on top of being a popular character in that game. Final Smash could also be one of her specials from that game. Granted, I haven't done enough research to fully see if she has one or more, but assuming it's anything like One Piece Pirate Warriors, she most likely does since the game's made by the same team. However, if not her, there is another Zelda character I can see. Number 6, Impa, specifically Hyrule Warriors Impa. She's definitely a more popular Zelda character in the series, acting as a member of the Sheikah in Ocarina of Time and Skyward Sword, and as a bodyguard or attendant of Zelda's, giving Link guidance. I could see Impa being this massive sword wielder in battle that's nimble but effectively strong, similar to Cloud. Not only that, she wields the spear, the Naginata, and we've never had a spear wielder in Smash before. And at this point, it kind of feels underplayed how Zelda gets represented in Smash nowadays compared to Mario, Pokemon, and especially Fire Emblem. You can add another Zelda character, people want it, and between Impa and Link, I think people will be pleased. Probably more so with Impa. Number 7, Sailocks. If Sakurai's persistent on Ridley not being added, I'd say Sailocks would be a better bet. Sailocks is a villain in Metroid Prime Hunters and Federation Force, out with hatred against Samus and the Federation. He can wield the shock coil, can place electric bombs in his lockjaw form, and can use other attacks beyond projectiles. He's also hyped up to be the main antagonist for Metroid Prime 4, so we may see more Metroid love in Prime 4 advertisement in the form of Sailocks, similar to Fire Emblem's love over the series. Sailocks would make for a better and easier inclusion on Sakurai's part if Ridley truly is impossible. Number 8, Bandana Waddle Dee. Speaking of spear characters like Impa, Bandana D is almost nothing but, and that can make for an interesting fighter for the Kirby series. Not only that, he can fly and hover twirling his spear, can jab and shoot spear-based projectiles, and it's not like a Goomba or normal Waddle Dee that makes him ordinary and basic. He is an established Kirby character that has appeared in a slew of Kirby games. Even his description in Star Allies almost sounds like he wants to be in there, and there's more to him, so why not? Number 9, Decidueye / Incineroar. Given Pokemon Sun and Moon's success, widespread love, and Pokken Tournament, Decidueye, the final evolution of the grass starter Rowlet, is a really popular Pokemon and would be an obvious addition to represent Sun and Moon. He's a ghost and grass type, he's the shadow owl that can snipe opponents with its ghost arrows, particularly in his main move Spirit Shackle, use flying, ghost, and grass type attacks, is capable in the air, and his final smash could be his exclusive Z move, Sinister Error Raid. Decidueye would be the perfect Pokemon to represent the newest game. But the only other inclusion I could see if Decidueye didn't make it somehow just to mess with people's expectations is Incineroar, the final evolution to the fire starter Litten. A fire and dark type capable of using fire, fighting, and dark type moves, one of which is Darkest Lariat, is another popular Pokemon and is actually fit to fight, being a wrestling Pokemon after all. His final smash could be his exclusive Z move too, Malicious Moonslot, but he's really the only other option if Decidueye somehow failed to make it. And hey, there's also the off chance a Pokemon from the soon-to-be Gen 8 that's coming to the Switch could be a candidate instead, but there's nothing to go off of at all with Pokemon on Switch other than it's a new mainline title. Either way, Decidueye seems like an obvious choice for Smash, and if not, Incineroar would be the next best thing. Number 10, a character from Fire Emblem for Switch. Now, I'm no Fire Emblem fan, but considering Marth, Roy, and Corrin's debut in Smash, I think it's reasonable to suspect the new Fire Emblem character we'll get is based off the new Fire Emblem game coming to the Switch. As to who it'll be, we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully it'll be a main character that's well known for wielding an axe or a spear, considering Fire Emblem's stigma of too many sword characters that Robin and Corrin broke from. Time will tell. Number 11, Viridi. I hear people pick Hades instead as another Kid Icarus character, but no one seems to remember a Kid Icarus character that's still alive and hinted at for potential future games. Viridi, the goddess of nature. She seems like a mainstay for Kid Icarus going forward and would make for an awesome addition to Smash. She could be the size of a young girl considering her design. She's smaller than Pit, but not as tall as Ness. She has her wooden staff. She can use her own Viridi palm and Viridi claws. She has her forces of nature at her beck and call for special moves. Her final smash would use her forces of nature army to strike the opponent into an open field and launch a reset bomb onto them, dealing massive damage. I see and wish Viridi would be the next Kid Icarus character in Smash, more so than Hades, because she just seems more reasonable. I wouldn't object to Hades being in Smash. I love the character to death, but not only is he insanely huge and Ridley's in a similar boat as it is, and given Smash 4's Palutena's guidances, she has more reason to appear than Hades in my opinion. Plus, again, Smash could use more female representation as some people like, along with Winkle and or Impa. Sakurai, you can make room and add one more Kid Icarus character. Please add Viridi in Smash. Number 12, Rex and Pyrrha. Xenoblade is growing more and more and becoming a much more popular franchise that I believe it can hold two characters in Smash, bringing Shulk as one and Rex and Pyrrha as the other. Rex is the main character in Xenoblade Chronicles 2, which has sold over 1 million units in under a month, and Pyrrha can act as a blade and assist character. I can see them work similar to how Rosalina and Luma or the Ice Climbers work, and they can do various attacks as Pyrrha acting as a sword. I'll leave Xenoblade enthusiasts to come up with a moveset. I know nothing on Xenoblade other than a bit of the first game. I don't know how nimble or flexible Rex is, or if he can use the Monado arts or anything of the sort. The final smash could be a chain attack like Shulk's, but I'm not well informed. I do know that Sakurai has tweeted about how much he loves Xenoblade 2, and he rarely tweets about games he likes. So if that doesn't suggest Pyrrha and Rex are going to be in Smash, I don't know what will. Number 13, Chorus Kids. These guys were requested back in Smash 4, and they originate from Rhythm Heaven. It's these 3 white cartoony outlined men that sing, but I believe they can expand their moves beyond just singing and use animations, attributes, and moves from the other Rhythm Heaven characters, animals, and sequences. It'd be that bizarre addition that would be off-putting, but really fitting considering Sakurai's mind is flexible and strong with his Smash characters. Chorus Kids could work. Number 14, Golfer from NES Golf. I'm not gonna lie, this is probably the least likely candidate on this list, but not only would this guy maybe work in that vein of WTF retro characters like Mr. Game & Watch, Rob, and Duck Hunt, I mainly see this guy join because of a few things. One, Golf was put on the Switch during its first year through an Easter egg. It was made to pay tribute to Satoru Iwata, deceased former president of Nintendo, and him and Sakurai are good friends. I could see the golfer from that game be put in there primarily because of that, and he can use other items and sports equipment from the other NES sports games like baseball or soccer. Like how Duck Hunt and Rob had original moves and worked despite being odd, it could work here too. But again, despite what I said at the beginning of the video, this isn't something I would place my bets on, so I am somewhat cheating a bit with the realm of possibility, but it's not something forbidden from ever being a reality, so you never know. Number 15, LabOh Man. That little cardboard figure with the Joy-Con on its back. Nintendo LabOh is catching on with great reception and releases in a matter of weeks. While Golfer is a retro WTF character, I believe we'll get a character representing LabOh that will be a more modern WTF, and that little cardboard man will be enough. Javed El Starrett on Twitter even made some custom footage on how LabOh Man could work, and after seeing this, I firmly believe and wholesomely want LabOh Man to be in Smash. It would be a funny addition, an innovative playstyle, and a great way to market LabOh, and the final Smash could be the Toy-Con robot smashing through stuff. It just works very well and is pleasing to the eye. I'd like to see this happen. Number 16, Shovel Knight. Shovel Knight has become a popular indie platforming game, especially on Nintendo systems. Using a shovel as a weapon and item, Shovel Knight will be a suitable fit to represent indies in Smash Bros. He even has his own amiibo too. If they were to allow any indies at all in Smash, Shovel Knight would be one of them, as other than him and Shantae, there aren't many out there to pick that would not only be popular but also cozy on Nintendo systems. Except maybe number 17, Sans. We are at an age where indies such as Shantae, Shovel Knight, and Sans from Undertale may actually be in Smash Bros. This is on some new levels of insane, and Sans is a capable fighter to be put in Smash. I haven't played Undertale. Remember, opinions, I'm sorry. It's just how I see things. Gaster Blasters to shoot lasers as a special, he can teleport with his shortcuts, his Karmic Retribution could be another attack, Sans can fight, and the obvious reasons for including him are Undertale is coming to the Switch, Sakurai has stated he's played indies while mentioning Undertale, and despite what anyone says about Undertale or its fans, it is unbelievably popular and an incredibly well received game. Fans would go absolutely apeshit if Sans was added, and he would likely be a better contender for representing indies than Shovel Knight, and Shovel Knight's already popular, but Undertale's practically in a league of its own. If you want a reveal that would blow people away, Sans is one of them. Number 18, Bomberman. He's been a character requested for a while now in Smash, and Konami has shared history with Nintendo, especially strong ones since the Switch released with Bomberman R as a launch title. Bomberman is a popular character, and compared to Simon Belmont, I see Bomberman appearing more, especially since Bomberman R has been a success, and if Konami wanted to put one of their own in Smash again, Bomberman would be a better fit than Snake at this point. Number 19, Crash. Just like how Undertale is coming to Switch, so is Crash, and he was practically a PlayStation icon back in the day. Rivalry sparked between him and Nintendo, so Crash would make for a suitable reveal. His platforming and spin attacks already lend himself a moveset along with his items and allies and such. Crash is also a popular third party and took off in his collection last summer on PS4. Smash would reap plenty of benefit and hype including this Bandicoot. Number 20, if Sans didn't give me enough shit as it is, I'm gonna get so much more from this one. The Rabbids. Rayman fans, I know for a fact, people want Rayman more than the Rabbids. Rayman stuck around longer and is one of Ubisoft's best. But, given how successful and how far the Rabbids have come, I see them coming to Smash quicker. There's this negative aura around the Rabbids of being the gaming equivalent to the minions, and while up to personal preference, that's not really true. If anything, the Rabbids are actually likable compared to the minions, and they've had great games like Rabbids Go Home, along with Ubisoft's dedication to Nintendo over the years. Not only that, the Rabbids managed to get a crossover game with Mario that actually sold well and was actually a great game. The Rabbids have gained more popularity and a higher status, especially since they cross over with Mario, and between the weapons from Kingdom Battle and their own games, their moveset can be distinguished and diverse than just using the signature blah, even as far as having either a singular Rabbid or two as a character. Hell, they can make Rabbid Mario, Rabbid Peach, Rabbid Luigi, and Rabbid Yoshi as alternate costumes. They are established enough, in my opinion, to be in Smash, and this one I know people are gonna cringe and retch at. If one had a better shot over the other, I'd say the Rabbids had over Rayman, in my opinion. Either character is possible at this point, but I'm genuinely curious to see how the Rabbids would be done as Smash third parties. And number 21, Banjo Kazooie. Now I'm gonna be straight here. I know very little about Banjo Kazooie other than a few things. One, he's a classic platformer that was really beloved during the Nintendo 64 era. When Rare was with Nintendo before Microsoft, Banjo Kazooie clicked with many 3D platforming fans. Banjo and Kazooie are a dynamic duo, and Yooka-Laylee was inspired from it, having them both work together to fly, roll, and use other abilities to travel and collect throughout their games. They've been a popular duo, and they are also characters long requested for Smash, and it would be really good fits. Microsoft's boss even stated during the fighter ballot of Smash 4 that Banjo Kazooie would be more than allowed to be in Smash, and he still reveals he's welcome to make BK possible still in Smash for Switch. This would provide among one of Smash's biggest third-party reveals, up there with Sonic, Cloud, Mega Man, and Pac-Man, considering Rare and Nintendo have been good pals. Microsoft owns the brand, and Banjo is significantly more loved and remembered as a Nintendo character. Fans would go insane if Banjo Kazooie made it in Smash, and now I think his chances are better than ever. That's 21 characters, and normally I'd be done here, but we all have that one character, that one dream character. A character we know has little to no chances of being in Smash, but we would love to see him or her appear either way because we love the character or for shits and giggles. So, I would like to inject a little bonus and state my dream character in Smash. That character is Shadow the Hedgehog. Like I said, I doubt he'll ever be in Smash, it's unlikely, but Sonic is the only consistent third party to stay in Smash Bros. He does deserve a second rep if the possibility arises, and Shadow would not only fit, he doesn't have to be a direct Sonic clone. Shadow's established himself further from Sonic game after game. Shadow can do the homing attack, spin dash, and boost, but Shadow can also unleash Chaos Spears, increase his strength with Chaos Boost, teleport with Chaos Control, ride motorcycles, use Chaos Blast, and he's much more aggressive and destructive compared to Sonic. His down air can be that hammer move he does with his hands in the opening cutscene from Shadow the Hedgehog and the episode Shadow cutscene in Sonic Forces. His roundhouse kick can be either his back air or back throw. His forward air can be that aerial spin kick from the opening in Shadow the Hedgehog. His final smash can be him transforming into Super Shadow and either slowing down time or using Chaos Blast and blow the opponent away. It's not like Shadow has always been a Sonic clone. Like Waluigi in Project M, he can have a unique moveset and be more centered around power and aggression on top of his fast speed, as Sonic's more about baiting your opponent and controlling the stage while mastering his speed. Shadow can easily fit in Smash. He's the most popular Sonic character next to Sonic himself. He can upgrade from being an assist trophy to a character like Little Mac. He has his own abilities and a bunch of fans. If Sonic ever got another rep, Shadow would be it. I don't see it happening, but Capcom got 2 being Mega Man and Ryu, so it's not impossible. And that's 21 characters, technically 22 and 23 including a dream character, that I see appearing in Smash Bros. For Nintendo Switch. I know this was long and a lot to digest, but I hope you enjoyed the video and understand where I'm coming from. A lot of these characters may not appear in Smash at all, some might. Others I haven't predicted will. Maybe you guys predict or want fighters that will appear, and that's fine. It's just my silly take and predictions, and that's the fun of Smash Bros. There's room for so much speculation. And with that, thank you for watching, and you know what to do if you want to see more Smash for Switch speculation in the future. Stay super.